So, we've got a Q&A video. Yeah! I don't know. I've had a few people ask me about Qui-Gon Jinn videos being released. And I am working on it. There's just a lot more effort that's getting put into this Qui-Gon Jinn video than there is in most of the other stuff that I do. So it's going to be a little bit before that Qui-Gon Jinn video is released. Please be patient with that. But let's get into the questions. This is already a longer video, so I don't want to hold you guys up. You know, I feel like this question is going to have one of the longer answers compared to any question I've answered in the past. Just due to the tangents that I want to cover prior to actually answering this question. This is because I want to explain something prior to actually answering the question, and I feel as if it is something that needs to be said. I'm gonna try to avoid any questions that are similar to this in the future, due to this being religious in nature. I'm trying to avoid a religious war in the comment section. Although I do enjoy talking about religion, I refuse to talk about religion for the most part in the future outside of this video, due to the fact that YouTube may or may not do something with recommending videos and with labeling me. In fact, I have noticed something about this, so I will go into a bit more detail about it before I actually answer the question. If I talk about religion in my videos, or if I use tags or titles in my videos that imply a religious connection, then I've noticed YouTube tends to promote my videos to people who will be considered religious extremists. And once those videos are promoted to extremists, that will drive basically who sees my videos in the future. Meaning, if I make a video about religion, then YouTube will catch that, and since religious extremists tend to talk about that kind of stuff more often than not, these religious extremists are the people that YouTube will promote to. Now, these interactions will be good for YouTube, but it will have a large chance of changing my channel from what I want into an extremist channel. Regardless of whether my channel gets changed or not, that has the opportunity to get my videos either demonetized or removed, regardless of whether I do research on the topic and prevent any sort of misinformation getting through. Also, I don't want my channel to be relabeled as a religious channel. I don't want to spend my entire time on YouTube talking about religion, and I don't want to deal with trolls or extremists that come with the territory of making that type of video. This also applies to talking about politics. If I talk about politics, that will also have a high probability of bringing in extremists and trolls, and it will also have a chance of my channel being relabeled as one that will basically if I get rebranded as someone that talks about religion or politics, as I said before, it'll have a higher chance of having my videos removed or having future videos demonetized. I don't want to have my videos or my channel become known as a religious channel or a political channel. With all of that said, I will make exceptions if I feel as if I'm able to do so, and basically have it become the actual theme of a video. Assuming religious or political topic is one that I'm willing to talk about, the main exception to this rule would be equal rights. Of course, you know, it would be my choice to talk about that topic, and I will choose what to say on that topic. If there is a religious or political question, I get to choose whether or not I answer the question, and I get to choose what I have to say. If the question is about religious or political viewpoints to rights issues, or if the video is a standalone video that talks about religious or political viewpoints to rights issues, I will choose whether I am able to talk about it or not. If these videos get made and released, I choose whether I keep the comment section open for viewer comments on that video. Having said that, I reserve the right to film a video, release the video, or keep the comment section open. If I choose to close the comment section to a video, or delete the video, it'll be my choice to do so. If I decide to choose to close the comment section or delete the video, it'll be my choice and in response to viewers' reactions. That will be my choice for as long as that video actually remains on the channel. If I delete a video or close the comment section, I like to say that it'll be my choice, but just because a video gets deleted from my channel or if the comments section of any of my videos gets closed, that does not mean that I made the choice to remove the video or close the comment section. I've seen plenty of videos get removed from this site, and I've seen plenty of videos where the comment section was closed, where the person who uploaded it had no control over whether these actions actually happened. I want to avoid having my videos get removed by YouTube, because that would negatively affect my YouTube channel as a whole. I want to say that I do make my own videos, and I want them to be videos that stay on YouTube. I want to say that I do what I want, but that means that I have to work around YouTube's rules and policies. This means that there are certain topics that I will have to avoid, and that there are certain topics where I would have plenty of research to do prior to making a final decision on whether I will film and release a video. This means that even if I have an idea for a video, that there are plenty of videos that I'll either won't write or will write but won't film. This means that there are videos that I might film but won't release. This means that there are videos that I release but will have their comment section closed. And this means that there's a possibility that there are videos that I release that will be removed either by myself or by YouTube. Now that I went off topic for however long, I feel like I'm able to answer the question. I want you all to keep in mind everything that was just said by me prior to my answering the question. I don't want to answer the same way again, though I'm sure the topic will come up again in an upcoming video. This means that there is a chance I will say something similar in an upcoming video, just as a reminder to everybody, and also as something to basically cover my own ass. Having said that, I'm going to say what I say as somewhat of an informed decision. Just because I'm giving this information, it does not mean that I'm planning anything, and it does not mean that I follow what's happening. Also, just for the sake of question, I did the bare minimum amount of research and did math based on what I found. I've looked on the completely reliable page of Wikipedia and found that there have been 266 popes since 30 AD. Assuming this is accurate, that means there's been an average of a new pope every approximately 7.5 years. This means that if we factor in average life expectancy and if the average life expectancy doesn't change, the average life expectancy is just over 76 years. This means that mathematically there should be a new pope every 7.5 years, and at the time I did all this research and planned everything out, there should be about 4 or 5 new popes by the time I die. As I said before, I think that this is more of a mathematical answer than a religious answer. The answer is based on a Wikipedia article I found about the list of popes and on the Google search of the average life expectancy. I do apologize for the actual legitimate answer being so short in comparison to the description of what could happen if I keep answering questions like this. And I'm sorry about not going into more detail about the papacy, if that's what it's called. The Pope lineage, whatever it is. But that's the state of YouTube now. I just do not want my channel to be removed because I did a little bit of math to figure out the average of how long a pope is considered to be the pope and how long the average lifespan is. Other than what I looked up here, I know nothing about the popes. I am not saying any of this to spark conversation or debate in the comment section. I only gave this answer because I had somebody ask me on my Discord. and I chose to answer the question. I may think it's an interesting question, but there's a reason I'm not getting into any more detail than what I did. There's a reason I am not getting into more detail outside of the fact that YouTube might mess with my channel. I just don't want to get into too much detail due to how people may or may not respond. Hate or not, I just don't want to deal with how people could respond and how YouTube might perceive my response. I do want to have conversations about different topics. It's just that I do not feel as if religion is one of those topics where I would be able to talk about it, even if it was with somebody that I have conversations with on a fairly regular basis. Now, I said earlier in the video that I don't like answering religious questions. Although I had this, big answer planned out, I'm not answering this question for a couple of reasons. First, I don't want to give any sort of influence on what other people might think when it comes to religion. Second, I don't want to start a flame war in the comment section. Third, I don't want YouTube to label my channel as a channel that gives misinformation or a channel that gives religious videos, even if I only give my opinion on the topic. Wow, that's a lot of questions. I never would have expected this many questions to be asked in one post. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying I never would have expected this in one comment. I don't know how many things like this I'm going to answer in the future. If you want more of a chance that I'll answer questions like this, there are a couple ways around it. The first option is to ask multiple questions in the same post with a line or two of space in between the questions that you ask. Another way around this, and the way that I recommend you doing this, is to ask each question in its own comment or post. Now, before I actually give my full answer to the questions, I want to say I generally do not enjoy eating McDonald's. It is an option for when I'm in a hurry, but I do prefer to cook my own food. McDonald's is known as fast food for a reason. It's prepared fast, and it's generally there for people who are in a hurry. Having said that, my go-to items from the McDonald's menu are either the McRib or the Quarter Pounder with cheese, although I do get the fish sandwich that they have every once in a while. Also, just because I answered this question, it does not mean that it's a sponsor or an advertisement for McDonald's. I would not be opposed to doing a sponsorship with McDonald's in the future. Of course, I'm a fat boy who enjoys eating food. I mean, just because I'm fat doesn't mean I would do this, but I would accept a sponsorship from McDonald's, even though that this question is not a sponsorship. I am open to it. I may not eat there a lot, but I would definitely eat there a bit more if I did receive the opportunity to do a sponsorship for the almighty McDonald's. I might even do a mukbang or two to promote McDonald's and their food. Not that they need much promoting now. Having said that, I want to repeat that this video is currently not sponsored, as far as I know, and it is not a promotion for McDonald's. I'm just answering a question that was asked. The only reason I have two options here is because the McRib is only available for a limited time. Or at least it was at the time I'm recording this, because the last I heard, it may or may not come back. But because it was available for limited times, it only came back a few months at a time. But only for like a month or two at the most. I like the McRib because of the tanginess of the sauce that they use, as well as the fact that the McRib is not on the menu year-round. I also like the Quarter Pounder because bunger. As I said before, at the time I'm filming this, the McRib may or may not be coming back. I heard that either 2022 or 2023 will be the last time the McRib is going to be released, and it may not be a thing anymore after that. If that is the case, I won't be able to get the McRib anymore, and I'll be really disappointed in McDonald's. And as I said before, I do eat the fillet of fish on occasion. I really enjoy eating fish, so I feel like, it if I feel like eating fish at some point, but don't have the biggest craving for a specific meal, I will consider getting a fish sandwich from McDonald's. For the longest time, this was my favorite sandwich on the McDonald's menu outside of the McRib. On to the next question here. Before I give my answer to how tall I am, I want to say that I am vertically challenged. I'm not as vertically challenged as other people, but I am very vertically challenged, and I've occasionally wondered what it would be like to be taller than I am. I am 1.62 meters tall, but I still might have a growth spurt coming. I just don't know if that growth spurt's going to be me growing taller or me growing side to side. Plus, I can always get leg implants to make myself a bit taller. I think I wound up being the same height since 7th grade. I have gotten used to being a bit shorter than most people who are my age. On that note, I know height doesn't really matter, but it's something that how do I put this? I know height doesn't really matter, but it's something that doesn't really mean that I don't want to be a bit taller. As for the dark energy, I've noticed that I tend to feed off dark energy known as dumb bitch juice. Apparently only idiots who drink dumb bitch juice like talking to me when I go out and do anything, and they think that I'm an extreme pushover when it comes to them thinking I'll do what they want, which is something that I don't enjoy. Now, I'm not saying that everyone I talk to is an idiot. I just stated that I actively enjoy not talking with idiots. Just because I deal with idiots whenever I go out, and just because a couple of people who are my neighbors tend to constantly bother me for no reason, I don't actually enjoy hanging out or talking with idiots. I don't like going out because the people who drink dumb bitch juice, and it seems as if most of the people who are out when I need to go out drink a bunch of dumb bitch juice before they interact with me. My favorite moment from the fake childhood memory that was implanted in my massively large head brain would definitely have to be when I visited Valley Fair for a middle school trip. For those of you who don't know, Valley Fair is somewhat similar to what Six Flags used to be. It includes a bunch of rides, including the Power Tower, which is similar to the Tower of Terror. A close second favorite is when I went to the Renaissance Fair. I do want to say that now, as I said before, I do want to say that I prefer the questions to be asked on separate lines next time. I don't care whether they're in the same post or not, or whether they're in separate posts. I just want the questions to have a bit of space between them. Now I just need to pick whether I choose the red pill or the blue pill. Wow. I don't really get a lot of people asking me about Magic the Gathering. It's not that it's, really a bad thing that people don't ask about it. It's just I'm bringing it up just because of the fact that people don't really ask me anything about it. I'm sorry if I seem more like an over-enthusiastic little toddler about the fact that I'm talking about it right now. I'm bringing this up just because I'm glad that I finally get to go into detail about my favorite part of the game. In my opinion, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into Magic the Gathering. There's a lot of rules, a lot of limitations, and the fact that people are able to try and find different loopholes to get around all of these rules. Even with all the limitations, whether it's on the cards whether it's on the cards that are able to be used or what can be done with them, there's still a lot that can be done, either to subvert the rules or make a deck that is full of a bunch of different bullshit. Examples of this include life gain decks, creature and token decks, and token creation decks, I should say. Decks that center on making your creatures so strong that they can't be blocked, countering stuff, making each of your opponents not be able to do anything, a lot more than that even. Even with all these different types of decks, there's still a lot of different strategies that can be done in order to do all of this. And there are, close to infinite ways to be able to combine different strategies. Having said that, none of that really has anything to do with my favorite part of Magic the Gathering. And it's also my least favorite part. Both my favorite and my least favorite parts of playing Magic the Gathering is being able to communicate with people about it. I enjoy being able to talk with the people who play the game, and I enjoy trying to learn different strategies from the people that play the game. My least favorite part of Magic the Gathering is when people who, for the most part, are super religious find out that I play the game. I've already had a few people tell me that I'm going to hell because I play a strategy card game that has nothing to do with actual witchcraft. There may not be a lot of these people out there, and there are probably more than I think there are, but there's probably not a lot of people out there. But these people always seem to bring up Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and occasionally even like Digimon or stuff like that. One of these games or animes or whatever they are always tends to lead to other things. And it always seems to, basically one leads to the other, and then once they cycle through all of that, then they wind up bringing up how I'm going to hell because it says so in the Bible. But they cannot give me any verses from the Bible that state that these card games will cause me to go to hell. Card games like this are strategy games over anything else. And I really enjoy being able to improve the strategy that I decide to put into whatever deck I make. I have a lot of different decks, and each of my decks, I'm trying to make each one of my decks have a different strategy. As I said before, one of the things that I enjoy is being able to communicate with other people and figuring out how to improve my strategy with all of this. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees to whether I'm doing live streams on Tuesdays. I want to start streaming on a regular basis, but I don't want to give a definite answer on whether I will or not. I do enjoy streaming, but I do not want to give a guarantee on whether I'll be streaming. I do enjoy streaming. If I were to stream, it would be on my Extras channel. Having said that, there's also a lot to consider. Some channels are built on streaming, but none of my channels are really built on streaming. They're more built on releasing videos. If I were to start streaming, I would need to figure out dates and times and then stick to that schedule. I would also need to work out when I stream, how often I would stream, the length of the streams, and whether I want to stream on one channel instead of making videos on that channel. At the moment, I'm still working on a lot when it comes to all three of my channels. As for when I'll come up with a schedule that works for streaming, I'm not certain. There may be a lot for me to consider when it comes to streaming. I'm not giving a definite answer as to whether I will stream or not, but the answer, or the option, is still on the table. I want to clarify what I just said, just in case I did not make it clear enough. I'm not saying I won't stream. I'm just not specifically saying that I will stream. I'm still figuring out what I'm doing with my channels, and I'm still figuring out what else I want to do in addition to making videos and streams. I have friends that I want to hang out with. I have family to see. I have a book I'm writing, and the book is something that I want to turn into a video, or into a book series. I'm also writing wanting to write a movie. I am working on movies and short films, in addition to YouTube videos and books. And there's a lot going on with my YouTube channels and with my life. If I do start streaming, I'll need to work on specifics on how I'll do that. Now, I am able to list a few people who stream on their YouTube channels. That's what their channels are mainly built on. My channels, however, are built on releasing actual videos and not streaming. If I change that, whether it's, streaming in addition to the videos I release, or streaming to replace the videos I release, I have to consider the consequences of whatever I choose. Of course you can contact me, Djinn of the Desert. My social media and contact information is listed in the video descriptions of my videos, and there are quite a few options to choose from. I have a US-based phone number, I have an email, and I have various social media accounts to choose from. Having said that, there may not be a lot of responses due to how many people are actually trying to contact me. The things that I do not appreciate right now are basically simple, I don't want you doing this, that, or the other. Don't contact me sending nudes or requesting nudes. I'm not on social media to get nudes from people. or to send my nudes. If I want to get a person's nudes, I can just go to Google Images. If I want to see other pictures, I would follow people on Instagram or, again, go to Google Images. I do not like having people contacting me asking for money, as I am not an ATM. Most people who have contacted me asking for money have been people trying to scam me in one way or the other. I've had people asking me to join their secret society, where the way to enter the secret society was to buy them gift cards. I've had people contacting me telling me that they just need money, and they ask for bank account information. Now, I enjoy helping people when I can. I just cannot provide for everybody, nor do I want to provide for everybody, especially when I can barely provide for myself. I also don't appreciate people trying to scam me. It is far from my obligation to provide for other people, especially when people don't want to find a way to provide for themselves or want to make an attempt to scam people out of things. I feel like I've already answered this in a previous Q&A video, but I don't remember, so I'm going to answer it now. I don't really have a greatest moment or best clip from when I played Apex, just because I didn't really play it enough to be able to feel as if I should have a greatest moment or best clip. I've only played it a couple times, and I didn't even play it for that long when I did play. Having said that, I do have a couple of videos on my gaming channel, the links to which are down below, and I always welcome people telling me what their favorite parts of any given video are. Although I do have a few Apex videos on my gaming channel, I want to clarify that at the point I'm recording this, I am focusing on other games. The games I'm focusing on are CSGO, Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2017, Fortnite, Minecraft, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Although I'm not currently playing Apex, I would definitely consider playing it in the future if enough people let me know that they want me to play Apex in the future. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do for my gaming channel, and I want to think that Apex videos may or may not be a good thing. I'm hoping they would be a good thing for my gaming channel, but there's a lot that goes into it. I have been messing around with new ways to film and edit with my games on my gaming channel, but again, at the point I'm recording this, those videos have yet to be released. If these videos do well, I'll definitely consider adding Apex into the list of games that I play on my gaming channel. I want to say that if you want to check out my gaming channel, whether it's to see the games that I play or to see how many gaming videos change over time, feel free to check out my gaming channel, the links to which are in the video description. Now, I do have a lot of videos on my gaming channel, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying out for that channel. If you're willing to check out my gaming channel, as I said before, feel free to click the link in the video description. I am willing to listen to what you have to say about my videos, so feel free to let me know what you think. So, I've said before, and I'll say it again since somebody's asking. All of my old videos are still on my old channels. I put those videos on private, and I'm not uploading anything to those channels because something happened with those channels that limited my ability to use those channels. And I don't want to have YouTube say that I'm still using those channels when I'm not. I've taken most of the ones that were on my old VlogMN2 channel, and I re-uploaded them on my current Extras channel. I also have a few vlogs that I wanted to download from my old vlogging channel, and I want to re-upload them to my current vlogging channel. I just don't know whether I want to take those old videos and upload them separately, or whether I want to upload a few vlog compilation videos. If you have any ideas on what you think I should do with older videos, feel free to let me know in the comments section of this video. I do look forward to hearing from you. I'm not sure what to do with the old videos, so I would like to hear what you think. If you don't tell me what to do with those videos, I'll ship them off to Denmark or Sweden, because that's where they belong. Maybe they could finally go skiing in the Swiss Alps. Maybe they could backpack around Europe and have a fun time. Then, they may even be able to finally come across some of those NFTs and that all the young people are making a fuss about, and buy a few. Who knows? Maybe they may actually become rich and disown me as their creator. On that note, Frankenstein entered a bodybuilding contest because he thought it was something else. Since I did make a science-related funny that wasn't really funny, I figured I would clarify something about my Discord. At the time I'm recording this, I have a channel on my Discord for the NASA picture of the day. For some time now, there's been someone kind of offhandedly complaining about the fact that they don't like that channel and they don't like the bot. And they've kind of been complaining in the wrong spot about it. If you are on my Discord and you would like me to add or remove a channel, then I have a specific channel called Channel Recommendations. I don't know whether I'm still going to have that channel on my Discord at the time I'm uploading this, but if I have that channel, then I'll have it for anyone that wants to add, remove, or change one of the channels on my Discord. They can just leave a message there. I do try to make the Discord a place for everyone to fit in and feel comfortable. I also have several channels that I have dedicated to different science topics. Just because I have a channel on my Discord, it does not mean you need to interact with it, but I am always looking for ways to improve the Discord community. If you want to offer suggestions on how I can change the Discord, feel free to go there and let me know. I have that page there for a reason, and it's there to be utilized. If you have any suggestions on how to improve my Discord, that's the place to do it. And I have covered this in a previous video, but I don't know if that video is still public. I think that it's still an interesting story regardless of whether it's online or not. Having said that, I want to clarify that just because I think the story is interesting, I still do not want to repeat what happened with the stories that I'm going to tell. Also, for the sake of the stories, I will not be giving out any names. I'll be referring to a few people and a couple companies here, possibly. And I've decided that I will not give out the names of the people or whatever companies. This is mainly due to privacy reasons, though I do have other reasons as well. Another reason I will not give out names is because I just don't remember the names of the other people involved. The final reason I will not give out names is because though it did happen, it happened years ago, and I feel like I have made every attempt possible to distance myself from the people involved because of what happened. I'm a person who is better at remembering events, and I have trouble remembering other people's names, even if my life depended on it. Now, one of the places I worked was a place I really enjoyed working at the time. At the time, I was trying to reach out to management so I could train to work for Basically, I wanted to work as a manager at this location. At that point, I would consider myself to have been more social at that point than I am now. At that point in time, I was working with a couple of people that I enjoyed talking to. These were people who were brother and sister and both worked at the same location in this company as me. Eventually, the brother stopped working at this place, and it was just me working with the sister. As I said before, I was a lot more social than I am now. After work one day, I shared with this person that I wanted to start training for the management position, and they shared that they wanted to start training for the same position. Now, even though I will not share the company name, I will say that this is a well-known company with multiple different locations in both large and small cities across the world. Even if we both would have been promoted to the position of manager, either one of us could have easily transferred to another location that needed a manager. Now, at the time, I wasn't driving, but I still had access to multiple other locations where I could transfer if I got the management position. I even said that I was willing to transfer to a different location if the need came up. At the time, I was in college, but I was already considering dropping out of college, so at that point, hours would have been not an issue. But I was working weekend hours at this location due to the fact that I was in school still. Now, I said before that I told the sister that I was going for a management position. This happened on a Sunday night. I told this person on a Sunday night that I was wanting to train for the management position. And I didn't have to go to work again until the next Saturday. So I had 5 days off of work. I got a call at about 8 o'clock in the morning the following Thursday saying that the manager wanted to talk to me and that he wanted me to come in so we could talk. Because I was going for the management position, I thought that was, I thought we were going to be talking about me training for the management position. I get into work, manager sits me down and says that he wants to fire me. Because I thought this came out of the blue, I asked why I was no longer going to be working there, and he says, "You know why." I said that I didn't know why I wasn't going to be working there, and I got no response, so I looked around to see whether this was a prank of some sort. Then I saw the sister standing across the room pretending to do their job in an attempt to make it look like they were not spying on what was happening. When I saw that she was giving me the stink eye, it clicked that she said something to the manager. I immediately went home, started looking for another job, attempting to put this behind me. This happened for about a week, where I was looking for a job, so I just forgot about what happened at work. Until I woke up one morning and found a rabbit head, just the head, mind you, sitting on my driveway. Unfortunately, due to it being on a property where I lived at the time, I was the one who had to get rid of it. This is the strangest interaction between myself and someone else. The fun part is that I still see the brother in downtown Minneapolis, messing around and doing whatever it is that he does. Quite frankly, I don't care, because like I said, I'm trying to put that behind me. Of course, if I would have paid attention to the red flags, I would not have been put into that situation. I remember meeting the parents and being told by the parents of the people I was talking to, the brother and sister. The parents said that none of the family liked them, and that the rest of the family wanted nothing to do with them because the rest of the family thought that they were crazy. I wonder why the family thinks they're crazy. I've never had this crazy of an interaction between myself and someone else ever. Even with all the crazy interactions that I've had with homeless people and people trying to act tough toward me, none of those other interactions have been this noteworthy. I guess the answer to the question is I guess the answer to this question is something that I can say to suggest to you all that you should be careful with what you say to other people and to be careful who you allow in your life. Another fun story I like telling people is one of the people that I used to work with at another job. This person seemed friendly and sociable, so I was talking to them. At the time, I thought that they were a decent person. Just because they seemed like they were hardworking and tended to keep to themselves, even though I didn't know why they kept to themselves. At the time, I'd played Yu-Gi-Oh! With paper cards, and played a few games on the PS1 and PS2. And we kind of connected about that kind of stuff. I invited him over to my place one time, and we hung out, and I didn't think much beyond that due to how smoothly everything went. At one point, I overhear him talking about how he collects swords. In the same conversation where he brings up swords, he also brings up the fact that there was an office shooting nearby where we worked. And he made it seem like he was praising the person who did that. And that was a major red flag. But I looked past it at the time due to the fact that, sometimes I have trouble reading between the lines when it comes to conversations. Next, he drives me to a Best Buy before they started closing down, and tries forcing me to buy him a TV that costs, at the time, $1,000. Red flag. And I was trying to find ways to tell him that I didn't want to hang out with him or talk to him anymore. I was telling him that shit, but he wasn't listening. And I've had a few people try and take advantage of me this way, and I want no part of it. Then I hear that this person stopped working at the job that we both held due to some external actions. I won't get into much detail describing these actions, but the short version of what happened is that this person messed around and then he found out. For me, what happened there was another red flag. Once that happened, I deleted his phone number from my phone and ignored my messages and calls from unknown numbers. And I hoped that would have been the end of it. At that point, I didn't want to deal with any drama and BS from this person just because I had deleted that person's phone number. Obviously, this wasn't the end of the situation because I still have more story to tell. This person thought that I wanted to hang out with him every hour of every day and decided to come over to my place of residence uninvited. Multiple times. Most times, one of two things would happen. Either I would say that I was busy for some reason and couldn't hang out and he left, or I wouldn't answer the door and he wound up taking the hint and leaving. After a few times of this happening, I just flatly told him one day I didn't want to hang out with him at all, and then I wanted him to leave me alone. I told him to stop calling me, stop texting me, and to stop showing up to my place uninvited. Obviously that didn't happen because he came back the next night and tried forcing his way into my apartment. My apartment at the time had a locked entry box and was able to connect the person outside with whichever unit or tenant that they wanted. The person showed up at about 10:30 at night, expecting to hang out, and I had work at 6 a.m. the next morning. I told him that I didn't want to hang out with him ever, again, I repeated myself, and that I have work to worry about, and that I didn't want him coming back to my apartment because I didn't want to hang out with him. Instead of him leaving, he continued ringing the buzzer at the box for about 15 minutes without taking the hint that I didn't want to talk or hang out. At that point, I called the cops and explained what happened, and they said that they would send somebody out. Unfortunately, that still isn't the end of the story, because he had somebody let him into the secure building where I lived, and he started knocking on my door and trying to turn the knob and trying to come into my apartment uninvited. When the cops finally showed up, because it took them about an hour or so, they told him to leave, which he did, and then he sent me this long text message calling me a bitch and making threats. I was fortunate enough to have him leave me alone after that, which is something that I just wanted from the beginning. I don't know why he acted like that, nor do I know why the two people from the first story acted the way they did. But I'm glad that I don't have to deal with their drama at the moment. Now, as I said before, I will not be giving out names here due to privacy reasons. Although I have been trying to put this event behind me, I don't mind talking about it occasionally, even if it is only to tell people to be careful with excuse me. Although I've been trying to put this event behind me, I don't mind talking about it occasionally, even if it is only to tell people to be careful with who they allow into their life. Just because it's easy to talk to somebody does not mean that you should talk to that person. Just because someone else opens up with you, it does not mean you should open up with them. Your private life is private for a reason. I suggest that people keep their private life private. You don't need to hang out with people at your place of residence just because you have the ability to hang out with somebody. Being lonely doesn't mean that you should tell people to come over to your place of residence. Now, I have had other things like this happen in my past, but most of it was just people acting like idiots for attention and then leaving me alone. I don't remember the other things that have happened in the past, because the rest of the events like this were just people being stupid because they are mad at the world and wanted to take it out on someone else. And I was fortunate enough to be left alone after each event happened. My suggestions to everyone are simple. Leave people alone. Don't open up too easily to people. Treat people with respect. Don't be the kind of stupid that I mentioned when I answered this question. And if someone tells you to leave them alone, then you leave them alone. You have a Discord profile. You have a Discord profile picture. I'm assuming you know how to operate Discord. Are you saying that I, a person who barely knows anything about Discord, knows more about how to operate the links within Discord than you? I'm only asking because I'm trying to get your side of the story before I give an answer on this. I'm only asking because one of the first things I learned within my time on Discord is that specific channels on a person's Discord can be linked on other channels within the same Discord. Since that is what I did, your question confuses the hell out of me. Now, if the person who asked that question is watching this part of the video, I appreciate your asking the question. But I'm assuming you noticed that I did not respond on Discord. This is because the question caught me so off guard that I don't know how to respond, because of how I perceived it. No offense to you here, and I'm not trying to assume that anything here. I'm not trying to assume how old you are, or what you know, or this, that, or the other. But I would have expected something like that interaction from a boomer. Because many people expect that boomers don't know how to work computers, even though I've seen a lot of boomers who know how to work computers. Based on what I've seen from you on my Discord, I am making the assumption that you are much younger than a boomer and that you know your way around the internet. I'm also making the assumption that you have parental issues that you're working out, which may or may not be true, and that you're taking your dissatisfaction with them and blaming it on me. Either that or you're looking for attention because you feel abandoned in some way. If I'm wrong here, please feel free to let me know, either in the comments section of this video or over on my Discord. Tell Dr. Corum your problems. I'm here for you. I want to listen. We're friends, right? I want to be a smartass back to you and joke around about stuff by giving you a rough time. That's what friends are for, right? All kidding aside, I do have a serious question for you. Do you want me to hold your hand and guide you through how to use Discord? If you're being serious here, then I'm amazed that you've made it this far in Discord by not knowing how to use almost any function of Discord. I just want to say, keep asking questions. I understand a lot of people are, I don't know. Well, first off, I want to say that it comes through phases with this stuff, meaning there'll be a few days at a time where I get a bunch of people asking questions for my question and answer videos. And then it'll go for months, if not a year or two, where nobody asks anything. Which is why I initially wanted to stockpile a bunch of questions. So, feel free to ask questions either in the comments section or over on my Discord. I want to hear from all of you. And I do also try to make a video a week on this channel. I do also have a vlogging channel and a gaming channel, so feel free to check those out if you want to. I'm not telling you to subscribe, but I'm not stopping you from subscribing either.